What's going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. We're going to be going into my crystal ball and trying to predict the unpredictable. We're going to be trying to guess where the Paris market is going to be headed over like the next 6 months. Now, obviously, I know in investing, 6 months is not that long of a time frame, but I think it's going to be even more impossible to predict longer than 6 months out because I believe in about 6 months, the Copenhagen 2024 major is going to be happening. That's going to be a whole new set of stickers. And if those are borderless or bordered, that's going to change things for Paris and all these other stickers so much, and that's just impossible to predict. Already, this is going to be impossible enough to predict, but I'm going to try and give some of my price projections and some of my price targets and prices that I would really like to see, prices I would consider selling at, and all of this stuff. And just understand, this is going to be very hard to do, especially for me. This is my first time around. You know, I'm still learning every single day. I'm learning every single hour as I dive deeper and deeper into the markets, and this Paris sale was unprecedented. You know, we saw crazy volumes. You know, there's people, obviously, this is the third borderless sticker set. How's that going to affect the market? How is stickers that have 3 borderless stickers, 2 borderless stickers, 1 borderless sticker, how's that going to change? Blah, blah, blah. Who knows? But I'm going to be giving you guys at least where my head is at and where my ideas are in terms of where some of these certain hollows and some of these capsules are going to be going. If you're just here to, you know, talk shit and be like, oh, you're such an idiot, I can't believe you think this or X or Y or Z is going to happen, you know, you can just save that. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear your ideas of where certain hollows could go in the next 6 months, where you want them to go, where you think they could go, what prices you're selling at. I would love to hear all that stuff. But if you're just here to flame me or other people, that's going to be pretty stupid. That's going to be pretty pointless because you have to understand how difficult this is to do. And obviously, I've been very positive about Paris. I've been a very vocal proponent of Paris. I think it's going to do quite well. So obviously, a lot of my projections and predictions are going to be maybe a little bit higher than you're going to see from other people. But I also am going to try to be as realistic as possible because I understand that these, you know, there's a certain ceiling on Paris because of the quantities and all that stuff. So let's dive into some of this stuff and we'll go from there. And then again, in 6 months, you know, we'll see how many of my predictions were right or close or terrible or whatever. And then hopefully we'll all be able to gauge more accurately going forward in the future. But I wanted to talk about capsules first. Now, if you look at some of the capsules from, you know, like Antwerp and stuff like that, obviously some of those capsules did very crazy. And I'm pretty sure I have the performance of some of these capsules on here. You know, from the end of the Antwerp sale to the peak, Antwerp Legends went up 9.6x, Contenders went up 7x, and Challengers went up 5.9x. And again, this is all based off 25 cents. So the peak prices for Legends was $241, peak price for Contenders $175, peak for Challengers $148, and then, you know, the prices somewhat today are like a little bit over $1 for Legends and close to $1 for Contenders and Challengers. These prices are a little bit outdated, but just understand that, you know, today Challengers and Contenders went up about 3 to 4x, and Legends went up like 5 to 6x, somewhere in there. But again, Paris is going to be a little bit of a different story because Paris, one, some of those crazy gains we saw from Antwerp were based on the CS2 news where we got caught in that super hype cycle in the market. But also Antwerp has a lot less supply than Paris. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Paris to see quite the gains that Antwerp had for those 2 different reasons. Now, you could also say that, hey, now we're in the CS2 era. Hopefully, we're going to be getting a ton of new players. Also, if we get new skins at some point soon, there should be a lot more crafting. There should be more demand for that. You could also say that Paris is a better sticker set than Antwerp. I believe that. Not everybody does, but if you believe that Paris is a better set, then, you know, that could offset things a little bit. But it's also the third borderless set now, so that's going to tamper expectations a little bit. And we don't have that big hype cycle coming of the CS2 news. So Paris gains are going to be a little bit you know, less and a little bit lower. And I think our expectations need to be tempered a little bit. I don't think we're going to see those same peaks and highs from Antwerp for many different reasons. But when I look at these capsules, and I've talked about this before, it's hard for me to differentiate between them. And I'm not really sure if we're going to see a huge winner. You know, in the other majors, we've tended to see a big winner, but even that's changed over time. You know, from Stockholm, the Stockholm capsule challengers with Mouse in it went crazy. But now Contenders and Challengers have caught up and they're pretty much even, but they've both way outperformed Legends. And then in Antwerp, you have Legends, I believe it is, with C9 that's done way better than the other two, and the other two have kind of lagged behind. So generally you see a winner and a loser, but in Paris, I don't think it's as clear-cut just yet. Over time, it'll probably become more clear-cut, but we have Challengers that has Apex and Gamer Legion in it, which are 2 of the most sought-after stickers in the whole collection. They're unique, they're cool, and then it's got some other okay stickers like Pain and Monty, and you know, I think this sticker has some good things going. This capsule has some good things going for it. Contenders has the most expensive sticker in the set with Mouse, and then it's got Fluxo, and then it really doesn't have anything else. So part of me wants to say Contenders is worse, but when you have the best sticker in the whole collection, that's been a good thing for capsules historically. Look at Antwerp, look at Stockholm. The capsules with the best sticker usually do good. And then you look at Legends, and you have Furia, which is the second best sticker in the collection. But then you also have Nine, you have Heroic, you have Fnatic, you have Navi, you have Vitality. I even think Into the Breach is kind of an underrated sticker. So all of these capsules, to me, seem pretty similar. And I would not be surprised. Again, things are going to change. Maybe some stickers go crazy in price. Maybe some catch up. But I think Fnatic's one of the most underrated in the whole set. I think Heroic is going to have great performance. So I see Legends having a lot of things going forward as well. Now, ultimately, supplies could dictate the price a little bit. And you can see on the Steam, Steam community market right now, Challengers only has 260K listed. Contenders has 420K listed, but Contenders is the most expensive. So the quantities aren't necessarily dictating the price so far, at least yet. But I think some reasonable expectations for capsules over the next 6 months. This is going to be a pretty big range. I am hoping or wanting to see capsules go between 50 and 80 cents. If once it gets to the 50-cent range, that's definitely where I would start to consider selling out of some of my capsules. And then kind of each 5 or 10 cent increment, I would get a little bit more weary and a little bit more willing to cash out. If we get 55, 60, 65, 70, really in that 75 to 80 mark, that's probably where I would start to look to cash out most of my capsules. Again, I think a 3x from Paris would be very, very, very awesome. I would love that. 3x in 6 months would be great. Now, some people are going to have higher expectations, lower, whatever. But again, based off all the things and with Copenhagen coming right around the corner and me not necessarily wanting to hold through the Copenhagen announcement and all that stuff, again, I would be happy with a 2x. And I bought a lot of my capsules below 25 cents as well. For some of my capsules, I have a cost basis as low as like 22 or 21 cents. So going to 50 cents would be more than a double for me. Getting to 75 cents would be more than a triple for me. And I think both of those are very, very possible within the next 6 months. Yes, 6 months is a very short time. Yes, as every day passes, we're kind of getting closer and closer. But I mean, you got to look, we've already been holding above 30 cents so far for a lot of these capsules. And again, it's hard for me to pick a big winner out of this, but I would not be shocked if all three of these capsules end up between somewhere in the 50 to 80 cents range. And I really think somewhere in the middle, maybe like 65, 70, 75 cents is probably where I would guess for a lot of these capsules to end up at their peak sometime in the next 6 months. I don't know if that's where they're going to end up, where they're going to stabilize, whatever, but I could definitely see that happening before Copenhagen, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And like I said, I would start to consider selling at 50. I would probably be all the way sold out at like 80 for sure. As we get close to $1, I would for sure be selling out because I don't think they can get much higher than that in the short term. And like I said, maybe after Copenhagen, or if Copenhagen's bordered, yeah, these things are going to go crazy, but that's a big risk. I'm not necessarily here to gamble or anything like that. Next up, if we take a look at some holos. Now, what is interesting is if we look at holos from Antwerp, we can see that the best performing holos in Antwerp at the peak were up 35x. But the worst were only up 3.86x, and that's during the peak of the CS2 hype and mania from the beginning of, or from the end of the Antwerp sale. So again, if you're expecting Paris to be worse, maybe even significantly worse than the gains from Antwerp, just understand that the worst performing stickers might not even double in price in the next 6 months. I think we're going to see a lot of these stickers, a lot of these holos double in price. Some of them maybe triple, quadruple in price. But again, the worst ones could have lower than a 2x gains. And again, some of these were the most expensive stickers in the set. Here, the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all did not do well at the peak. They had 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, and 7x gains, which were the bottom 5 gains. So again, that makes me want to be very, very careful if I'm investing into Apex, Gamer Legion, Mouse, Furia right now, because they might see some of the worst gains of the whole set because they're just so expensive. It's going to be so hard for people to pile more and more money into them. So many of the gains are already baked in. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then from the end of the Antwerp sale to today, again, the worst performing sticker has not even doubled in price. These prices are a little bit outdated, but from when I took this data, and the best sticker was close to a 10x. Now, again, I think the best performing sticker will not do quite that well in Paris, and I think the worst performing sticker will do even worse. So we can kind of run through some of these real quick. The first one I want to talk about was Mongols. Mongols is the cheapest unique sticker in the Paris set, and I actually think it will do okay. Now, obviously, it's a cheap sticker. It doesn't look that great. It's kind of rough, whatever. But right now, it's at 84 cents. I could really see Mongols going somewhere between $1.50 and $3. Now, again, that's a very, very wide range. But again, this is so hard to predict. We don't know what is going to be happening with this stuff. But I think somewhere around $2 is very, very possible for Mongols. Maybe even $2.25, $2.50, somewhere in there. But I could easily see it going to at least $1.50. And I don't really mind picking this thing up for 84 cents. I bought some of them as high as like $1.10 or $1.05 or something like that. I think Mongols will be an okay performing sticker, especially for how cheap it is. And on the high end, I could definitely see it getting to like $3 or something like that, which again would be over a 3x from where it is here, which based on historical performance of holos, even at these crazier quantities and crazier prices, I think is possible for these stickers that you think will perform well. Next, I want to talk about Into the Breach, which right now is at $2.13. Again, this is a unique sticker, red sticker, cool logo. People have said it's kind of small, but I think stickers have gotten a little bit bigger in CS2, so I think it takes away from that a little bit. I think Into the Breach will be a overall pretty well performing sticker. For me, I'm looking at between $5 and $8 for this one. And again, that would be a little bit, like a 2.5x from here at the bottom end and close to a 4x at the top end. I think that's going to be very, very possible. And I'm hoping and expecting some really, really nice gains for Into the Breach. I think it'll be hopefully one of the better performing stickers of this collection. Again, it's cheap, it's unique, it's a good color, it's a cool logo. I think it has a lot of good things going for it. That's kind of my price target there. Next, Heroic, which I think might be the most underrated and potentially the best performing sticker from this whole collection. I've been talking about this thing for months. The price keeps going down. I think it just keeps getting more and more attractive to buy. Heroic at $2.35 right now. I think this thing could have some of the best gains from the entire set. I'm predicting somewhere between $7 and $10 or $11 for this thing at the peak. Now, again, that would be very, very crazy. But again, that's like a 5 to 6x return, something like that from these prices right now, which is not totally unheard of. Yes, I do think that would put it as one of the best performing stickers from the Paris collection, because I don't really think we're going to see things do more than a 5 or 6x from here. But understand that we've seen in these past 10x's, 15x's, 20x's sometimes. And again, I think Paris is going to be tempered a little bit. But if I think Heroic's going to be one of the best performing stickers from this collection, that's where I'm going to be predicting it to be. And I think on the low end, something like $6, $7 is very, very possible. And I could definitely see this thing, ending up around $8 or $9. So that's why I'm so excited about Heroic. It's been one of the best performing stickers in Antwerp, been one of the best performing stickers in Stockholm as well. And I think that's going to continue. If we go on to the next page, some of the stickers that I'm excited about as well. Fluxo. I think this one will have okay. I've kind of liked Fluxo less and less and less over time. The performance of it hasn't been that great. I've seen it on game and some stuff. I don't necessarily love it, but I still think it'll do okay. I could see Fluxo from $4.63 now going somewhere in the $8 to $12 range. Maybe a double, maybe a little bit less than a double, maybe a 2.5x, somewhere between $8 and $12. If this thing ends up around $10, I would think that's not a terrible deal. I wouldn't think that's totally unfair or anything like that. I think Fluxo will be an okay performer, but I'm not as excited about it as I was maybe a couple months ago. I'm hoping I'm wrong about it because I own a lot of Fluxo and I bought it at, a little bit higher prices than this, but we'll have to wait and see. I think Fluxo is still a cool sticker, unique, cool color. I think it makes some good crafts on stuff like print streams and stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not as excited about it as I was, like I said, but I still think it could have some okay gains. Next up, Fnatic. This is one of the ones that I am more excited about. Again, the one thing I don't love about Fnatic is its price. Obviously, the closer and closer we get to, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, I do think that puts a huge cap and ceiling on some of these games, but I still do think Fnatic has a strong chance to be a good performer. I have on my prediction here between $10 and $15, but I maybe even want to bump that up a little bit to somewhere between like 12 and 17 or 13 and 18, somewhere in there. I think Fnatic will be a good sticker. I think it's going to outperform a lot of these stickers in the medium to higher range in terms of ROI. I think it deserves to be a top 4 or 5 sticker. I like the Fnatic more than the Apex. I think Fnatic should be above the Apex in terms of the top 4 in this thing. And I think the fact that it's $5 and Apex is $10, I think makes Fnatic way, way, way more attractive. Even if you think Apex looks better and is a better orange sticker, is the best orange sticker, you think it's double as good as Fnatic? I don't know. I don't buy that. I think over time, the Fnatic fan base, the Fnatic brand, the Fnatic logo, everything is going to win out. And I think, like I said, time and time before, I think the Fnatic Paris Hollow is going to be a lot like the C9 Antwerp Hollow, where it just has really, really good and consistent gains over time. And again, I'm looking for some good gains from this thing. $12, $13, $14, $15, somewhere in there, I think would be awesome. And I think the only major downside is that it's already $5. So that does kind of put a cap on things. Then we get into the top 4, and like I have said time and time again in a lot of my videos, I am rather pessimistic on the top 4. I think these prices are so inflated, it's going to be hard to see great gains, and I think, frankly, some of these stickers are just overrated, Apex being one of those. I think we saw Apex pumped up by a lot of content creators, a lot of people on social media, and I just don't think it deserves as much hype. So I have the Apex sticker somewhere between the $15 and $20 mark. Again, people still do like it. It's still a good sticker, and historically, we've seen over time in all these majors that the stickers still do go up over time, even some of the ones that are a little bit more ridiculously priced. But going from $9 to $15 would not even be doubling. I could even, if this thing ends up at like $13 or $14, I wouldn't be totally shocked. I think this one is going to be tough to double. I think I'm not really expecting it to do more than double. If the Apex triples, if we ever see a close to $30 Apex, I think that would be pretty crazy, especially in the next 6 months. So I think there's still money to be made with Apex, but I think you're going to be losing a lot in terms of opportunity costs. And I don't think this one has deserved near as much hype as it's seen. But then the Gamer Legion, this one has been on fire recently. I actually think this one is maybe one of the sleepers. I bought like $100 of Gamer Legion at close to $6. You could get it a couple months ago. Since then, it has absolutely skyrocketed. We can see now right around $11. I think that's because it looks really good in game. It's unique. It's got GL, which is like good luck, so you can use it for some funny crafts and stuff like that. But it just has a lot of good things going for it. I think it looks good, and I think Gamer Legion will actually maybe perform the best ROI wise out of these top 4. I have Gamer Legion somewhere between $18 and $30. So I think on the lower end, it might get close to a double, could double, which is still really, really good for an $11 sticker. And on the high end, I could see it, potentially maybe tripling in price, but I do understand that would be rather difficult to do, but I think it is possible. Then we get into the Furia, which at times has actually been more expensive than the Mouse. They have been kind of vying for the most expensive sticker back and forth. For Furia here, I have between a $20 and $35. I think this one's a little bit hard to predict because, the Furias all kind of look the same from all the past majors, but they're also all different colors and stuff. This is like the blue and pink one from Paris. The Furias have done pretty well in the past majors, but again, it's $13 right now at the end of the sale, so it's going to be a little bit tough. I could see this one maybe doubling in price, but I don't know. I think doubling might be the most possible here. And then finally, we're getting into Mouse, which I'm maybe the most pessimistic about because, again, I think the Mouse Paris competing with the Mouse Stockholm looking exactly the same, both being borderless. We haven't seen as great of Mouse performance in Stockholm or from the Stockholm Challengers capsule over the recent months. I have Mouse somewhere in the $20 to $25 range. I'm not excited about this one in terms of its overall ROI perspective. I don't own Mouse. I haven't owned Mouse. A lot of people who bought the Stockholm Mouse top have lost a lot of money. I think people buying Mouse Paris are going to be eating a ton of opportunity costs, and it's overall not going to be that great. But those are just some of my predictions. Obviously, there's so many different more things you could predict, all the different hollows, all the different glitters. This video's already gone on long enough. These are just some of my predictions, my price targets, where I could be potentially selling, trying to make more sense of the ranges I'm buying at. Again, these are all Steam prices as well, so buff prices are going to be, 20 to 30% less. But again, I would love to hear where you guys think the Paris market is headed, where you think different stickers, glitters, hollows, capsules, whatever are going. This thing is insanely hard to predict. Nobody knows where the market's going to go. Nobody even knows what's going to happen with CS over the next 6 months to a year. And again, Copenhagen is that big kind of asterisk to this whole thing. But these are some of my predictions. Again, we'll have to look back at this video maybe in 6 months to a year and see if we were close, if we were under, over, whatever. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video idea. If you did enjoy it, maybe we can make some predictions on some other stuff in the future. Who knows? The video probably went on a little bit longer than it needed to, but hey, that's what you get at the I Am Germ channel. But pretty much it was this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then. Peace.